It's been a difficult year, but it's also been very liberating to know that I'm in a better place. I'm happier. I was in a relationship for about 20 years. I was married for 11 of those, and unfortunately, I was unhappy the majority of the time. But a lot of times you think that you can fix that by milestones in your life, getting a new house, having kids, getting a new car, having a lake place. We had all the things, and unfortunately, it didn't fix the actual root of the problem, which was just that we weren't compatible. We didn't have the passion that most relationships, or at least good relationships, should have. And I was scared to take that step to leave that relationship and leave those things and that comfort for a really long time. I was just miserable and trying to make things work and scared of what taking that step would mean for me financially and how it would affect my children. But last year, around the beginning of the year, I decided to take that step, and I ended up filing for divorce. It was probably one of the best decisions I've made in my life. It's been one of the toughest decisions. Mourning that relationship, even though it was broken and unhealthy, it was still a huge part of my life. So that was difficult and still is. But moving on also was difficult, but also freeing at times. I had to move in the last 2 years, adjusting to cooking for one, or living off of one income. It probably has been the hardest struggle, or the hardest adjustment I've had to deal with. So, and then just being a single homeowner, things that have been taken care of for me, as far as just shoveling the driveway, remembering when to take out the trash, all these silly little things that have been done for me in my relationship. I now had to tackle and figure out a process to do on my own without any help, and still manage 2 children and keep them on task and getting them in their new schools, and learning how to spend time at dual houses, and learning that mom and dad aren't married anymore. There's been several nights, even just the other night, my daughter was crying because she missed her friends from her old school. My son was having a really hard time. We got him into counseling, and that seemed to help. Once we were actually in our final neighborhood, he made a bunch of new friends in the neighborhood, and that also seemed to really help. It's tough on them, all the jostling around, and the different schedules and who's got who, but we've got it kind of finally evened out, and that's really helped for them. So as far as financially, I'm actually surprised at what I could do on my own and what I could afford and how I made things work. Yes, I had to dip into my retirement savings, which really blows, but in the long run, I'm a homeowner now. I'm able to put money into savings and putting money back into my 401k. I'm, got my feet financially stable, and it feels good to be able to take care of myself and not have to rely on anybody else for that anymore. Now I feel like I can actually go out and find the person for me without it having to be a financial piece. That's taking some adjustment to, and has been a little bit of a struggle for me. So people swiping and just looking at pictures and reading profiles and then meeting a total stranger. I don't know. It's weird. There are things that I'm still unsure of, but things don't scare me as much. I'm willing to take some bigger risks. I'm willing to fight for what's going to make me happy in the long run. I just don't see a point in, wasting time and things that aren't going to satisfy you. The biggest message that I would like to send out would be that, if you're unhappy, life is too short. Don't be afraid to take that step. It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be scary, but in the long run, it's well worth it. Your happiness is worth it. Life isn't worth living if you're not completely happy.